Kennedy and Martin Luther King. Peter, where are you? There you are. Give us a round of hand, please, if you would. Your honor.
Cue music. Music. Yeah.
Even if we act to erase material poverty, there is another greater task: to confront the poverty of satisfaction, purpose, and dignity that affects us all. Too much, and for too long, we have surrendered personal excellence and community values over to the mere accumulation of material things. Our gross national product, now over $800 billion a year, measures air pollution and cigarette advertising, and ambulances to clear our highways of carnage. It counts the special locks for our doors, prisons and jails for people who break laws. The GNP measures the destruction of the redwoods, the loss of our natural wonder and chaotic sprawl. It counts napalm and nuclear warheads and armored cars for the police to fight the riots in our cities. And the TV programs which glorify violence in order to sell war toys to our children. Yet, the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children, the quality of their education, the joy of their play. The gross national product does not include the beauty of our poetry or the strength of our marriages, the intelligence of our public debate, or the integrity of our public officials. It measures neither our wit nor our courage, neither our wisdom nor our learning, neither our compassion nor our devotion to our country. The gross national product measures everything, in short, except that which makes life worthwhile. And it can tell us everything about America except why we are proud to be Americans. That speech, that's an excerpt from a speech that was given by Robert Kennedy at the University of Kansas on March 18th, 1968, about a month and a half before he was shot. That was a sad day. So, I'm a photographer. On my business card it says, "Freezing reality since 1954. I had a little brownie camera that used VP127 black and white film, and I shot a lot of pictures. And it became a great skill. When I went to Whittier College, I was a photographer for the yearbook and the newspaper. And I was on Robert Kennedy's campaign staff at Whittier College. And one day the editor, Bruce Murphy and Rich Seeley, came and said, "Let's go see Bobby." We actually stayed over a couple of days after finals had begun, or had completed. And so we went down to either Pico Rivera or La Habra, someplace like that. And I call myself a hunter with a glass weapon. My camera is my gun. So I roamed around, and finally I got onto the street, and the limousine came by. And Bobby was looking the other way. And I've always been a good salesman, so I said, "Hey, Senator, I'm over here." And so he turned around and looked, and I said, "I'm on your campaign staff at Whittier College." And he said, "Thank you. Look me in the eye. Thank you. I need all the help I can get." We shook hands, and I stepped back, and I took a picture, which you'll see in a couple of seconds. 2 days later, he was shot and died. And my heart was broken. Seriously broken. And then the other lone assassin was announced. And a bell went off in my head, and I said, "Hey, wait a minute, I was born at night, but not last night. There's something fishy here." So from 1968 until today, I've been accumulating books and meeting up with all kinds of fascinating, interesting, dedicated, crazy people, crazier than I am. And it's been fun, it's been rewarding. And so let's take a look at the pictures. In my travels, I had the honor and the pleasure to meet Penn Jones Jr. How many of you know Penn Jones Jr.? Fantastic, brave, ballsy individual. Never held back with a word he said. You'll see in a couple of seconds something that he wrote to me. There he is standing, shall we say, timidly by the fence of the grassy knoll, probably about the place where the final headshot was fired, if one theory is correct. I think it's pretty correct. Next slide, please. And there we are in the kill zone where the big event took place. And I don't know what he's pointing at, probably the records building or whatever. But next slide, please. And this is what Penn wrote to me. You can take a look and see where he was at. You can tell he wasn't the most optimistic person on the planet, but he was a fighter. Next slide, please. Okay, so people talk about could there have been a shot from the sewer? I was there. I was there before they built up the layers of pavement, and there could have been a shot from the pavement. There's a British sniper rifle called a Carlisle. Shoots a .45 caliber round, almost completely silent. That was a possibility, but that's me down there with my fancy hippie shirt on. It was a long time ago, and I was about 45, 50 pounds slimmer. Next slide, please. Okay, later in the event, we're going to be showing an interview that Jim Ellis and I did with Paul Schrade in Hollywood a little more than a week ago. Gracious gentleman, a brave man, and the interview will be very interesting, so I hope that you're all here to see it. Next slide, please. And thank you, Jim, for doing the camera work. He's a great camera and sound man. Next slide. And there's Jim with Paul Schrade a week and a half ago. Next slide. And there is Paul signing the envelopes, which will be auctioned off here or sold or whatever Judyth decides. They're hers now. But I had those when I was on his campaign in 1968. Kept them in my garage, and a couple of them are weathered, so the earlier you get involved, the nicer ones you'll get. But weathering is good, as you can tell by looking at my face. Next slide, please. And that's a picture of one of the envelopes. And he says, Viva RFK, Paul Schrade. Next slide. And that's the picture that I took of Bobby Kennedy on the 3rd of June, 1968. And still brings tears to my eyes. Okay, is that it? Okay, and then at some future date, Chris Milliken may publish a book that I intend to write called The Aurists, which is really theorists made into two words. The aurists are people like me that say, or what, or this, or that. So someday we'll see that in print. If not, you'll be hearing about it if we have coffee together. Thank you, Fred. Okay, I want to say thanks to Judyth and Don Ratliff and Marty Eichler for having me on the board of directors. This conference really kicks butt. You don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be an author, you don't have to be a producer to be involved here. You just have to have a big heart. And that's really why we're all here. I'm not here for vengeance. I'm not here for details. I'm not here to find DNA samples in the book depository. I'm here because I want to co-create a we, us, and our world. And I believe that each and every one of you want to do that. Deep down below the pain, the anger, and the fear, there is this desire to have a safe place for our families and a safe place to conduct business and so on. So that's why I'm here. Randy Benson, thanks for being a great mentor. It's been great working with you. It's not over yet. Yeah, two other things. Number one, to the vendors and the people, the organizers and such, the acoustics in this room are just short of terrible. And so if you would please remember to keep your voices down so that people like me and the other great presenters don't have their gifts compromised by excessive noise. The other thing is, I'm the photographer. I'm the still photographer. So if you see me pointing my camera at you, I want you to know two things. Number one, I want you to look the best you possibly can. So don't ignore me. I'm not here to take anything from you. As a matter of fact, I don't take pictures. I receive the images that you give to me, and I'm grateful for that. So when you see me looking at you with my camera, give me a hi, give me a smile, and I promise the camera will make you look good. I got nothing to do with it. And the last thing is, Don, stand up. Where are you? Don Ratliff. Okay, everybody look at that man. He's the sergeant at arms. He's the hard guy. And if people are on a clock and they go over their time, Don has the duty. He's the tool for the event to make sure that people stay on time and that the show snows fully. I almost had it done. Flows smoothly. So it's going to be a great program. It's chock full. Take notes, take pictures, buy books, intermingle with one another, and remember, we are going to create a we, us, and our world, because after this, we're not just going to be reading and studying, we're going to be in action. We're going to be doing things that raise public awareness and get S done. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Oswald was innocent.